Hello, I am Lou from Dirigo Safety, and welcome to your Northern New England Law Enforcement News Roll Call. It's great to be with you again for this exciting edition. These briefings are short and focus on police-related issues for the Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, and Northern Mass policing areas. These are not your usual intelligence briefings or crime notices. No, these video briefings are designed to give you, the police leader, the correctional officer, the deputy sheriff, the victim advocate, or whatever your role is with the criminal justice, public safety, and 911 emergency system, some information you have not yet heard. So let's get going. Let's start with some recognitions, such as the image from the New Hampshire fishing game, Northwood's Law, who announced that Conservation Officer Robert McDermott was awarded the International Wildlife Officer of the Year for 2023 by Sakir Safari Club Foundation. Wow, that's a big achievement. At this ceremony, they also announced that Conservation Officer Thomas Hutton was awarded with the National Wild Turkey Federation Officer of the Year Award for 2023. Sergeant Alex Lopansky was honored with the Distinguished American Legion New Hampshire Law Enforcement Officer of the Year Award for 2023. Conservation Officer Ronald Arsenault, Sergeant Kevin Bronson, and Sergeant Jeffrey Pushy were named recipients of the 2023 Law Enforcement Division Command Staff Excellence Award. Closing out their recognitions, Sally Merrill was honored with the Law Enforcement Division 2023 Distinguished Appreciation Award for her work honoring her husband's passing by collecting donations to support the department's trading card program, canine tactical vests, first aid kits, and support equipment for their side scanning sonar. This is what I mean when I say these briefings cover news you might not have yet heard but deserve to know. I want to continue with some news out of Mass that saw the emergency 911 system suffer a statewide outage for 2 hours, which is causing a closer look at their 911 systems and their need for upgrading. It's not just Mass, but all our states, though, that need to look at upgrades that will improve resistance to cyber attacks and hacking while allowing additional information to be passed along by the public through the 911 system, such as text messaging, photographs, even videos. The outage had the Boston Police creatively asking the public to pull fire call boxes to summon help if needed, which turned out to be a good workaround during this communication outage. This incident and clever use of fireboxes serves as a reminder for all police leaders and those responding to 911 calls to brush off that continuity of operations plan, or whatever you call it, to make sure it might cover an event like this technological failure, and to perhaps update it and reissue it to everybody as a reminder on what to do. Speaking of planning and policy, the New Hampshire Law Enforcement Accreditation Commission has awarded Dirigo Safety as the manager for the New Hampshire Law Enforcement Accreditation Program. Dirigo Safety's New Hampshire Law Enforcement Accreditation Program Manager is New Hampshire resident Rick Stillman, a former chief of police in Massachusetts, Maine, and New Hampshire. Assisting Chief Stillman is accreditation specialist Carrie Waring, also a New Hampshire resident, and most recently Portsmouth Police Department's accreditation manager. Welcome, and I look forward to seeing New Hampshire departments attain this new statewide accreditation. Those of you who ride police motorcycles as part of your job no doubt knew Phil Miles. He likely trained all of you at some point who rode in your career, and there will be a one-and-done memorial drive on August 17th. All proceeds will go to the Cops with Cancer Fund and the Rockingham County Law Enforcement Officers Association. This one-time only ride in his name is a terrific tribute to Phip, and I hope if you have a bike, you can attend this ride. And as a follow-up to a piece about New Hampshire, about to legalize recreational marijuana, well, not so fast and not this year. New Hampshire came as close as it ever has this last month towards legalizing pot, but in the end and at the last minute, the bill went up in smoke. In crime, I see the dangers of the job has not decreased. A Maine State Police tactical team fatally shot a man on bail, probation, and house arrest who was found on a rooftop after an hours-long standoff in which he fired at officers after burning down 2 homes and fighting with the person who fought him, killing him in the fight. Police issued a shelter-in-place order, evacuated homes, and closed a section of a street in Auburn that for some triggered memories of the mass shooting in nearby Lewiston last year when a gunman killed 18 people and injured 13 others in the deadliest shooting in Maine's history. In Methuen, 7 were shot after gunfire broke out at what is being called a spontaneous gathering. These gatherings promoted on social media just moments before the gathering begins as a way of defeating any law enforcement efforts to track these gatherings. They often involved criminal gangs or hundreds of people gathering at random places to party or to take over a neighborhood for a short period of time. In Merrimack, the police there were faced with a short hostage situation standoff until the person released the hostage but then barricaded himself and committed suicide. Salem, New Hampshire police has a Find 'em Friday where each week on Fridays they post on social media, this one from Facebook, a wanted person or someone of interest they are looking for. It can be a major crime or sometimes more minor ones. A more recent posting showcases this tattooed transgressor suspected of stealing some stuff from a local business. This guy has some distinctive tattoos and left the scene of the crime in a blue Hyundai Elantra. Do you know him? Let Officer Markey at Salem, New Hampshire Police know. Nice work by the Stratford County Regional Tactical Operations Unit when they got their armed man wanted for domestic violence to surrender. I see in the New Hampshire-Vermont border area there was someone posing as an asbestos removal contractor, but the only thing being removed was the down payment people were paying. Nice work to the officers with your investigation that led to Jordan Dunn receiving 30 days in jail. If you don't know this already, AirTags are being used by police and criminals alike. For criminals, AirTags are being used to track people like women leaving a bar or perhaps an ex-spouse that has a tag slipped into a pocket, a purse, or attached to a car. For a police investigation example, these tags are being used by construction workers, attaching these to toolboxes, fearing the theft of their tools left on job sites or locked inside their trucks. There was recently over 15,000 stolen tools, worth over $3 million recovered in Maryland that had a carpenter's use of an air tag that led the investigators there. And what's this I read? Someone traveling 141 miles an hour on a motorcycle on Route 93? I also see that 3 and 4 motor vehicle fatalities in New Hampshire involve impaired drivers. Yikes, and thank you to those officers, deputies, and troopers working to get our highway safety under better order. Chiefs, maybe some more training into our officers for traffic safety to include impaired driving detection. There is free clandestine lab detection training in Maine coming up in August that will focus on awareness for law enforcement officers that may encounter fentanyl mills or other methamphetamine laboratories during the course of their duties. This training will provide attendees with the overall understanding of how to identify these labs, the hazards of fentanyl exposure, the process of methamphetamine production, and the dangers associated with clandestine drug labs in general. Additionally, the DEA will provide guidance on the best practices when conducting a drug death investigation, as well as provide an update on current drug trafficking trends throughout New England. DEA will offer 2 training dates on August 15th and August 29th. The National Tactical Officers Association will be hosting a 3-day crisis negotiation class in Belfast starting August 6th. And bees are being studied at one of the body farms in Virginia. Seems there is preliminary data to show that as nature takes its course decomposing, the bodies will exclude organic compounds into the air and soil. Flowers growing nearby will absorb traces of this decay, which pollinating bees will then carry back to the hives. Because bees have hives close to where they collect this pollen, it is thought that analyzing beehives will reveal these organic compounds in the beehives, and then lead the investigators to a more concentrated area where there is shallow or no grave for a human body. I see this more and more lately, where police departments are using their social media pages to notify the public about licensed door-to-door salespeople who will be in the neighborhoods, designed to inform as well as cut down on calls to the PD. This proactive approach is gaining more and more support. This example on the left is from the Milford Police Department, who was contacted by a student from Estonia attending the University of Tartu and is working her way through college. She wanted to let the citizens know that she would be in town doing door-to-door sales. They included in the post her image, and that if you did not want or were interested in her products, to just let her know and she will bid you a good day and move on. They also included that she would be driving a rental car with Florida plates. The Maine Impaired Driving Summit was held recently in Portland. They brought together national and regional experts from law enforcement, prosecution, toxicology, and traffic safety to share their expertise and best practices to address critical issues around impaired driving. Scott Maddox, the CEO of Dirigo Safety, was presented with the AAA Traffic Safety Champion 2024 award. A huge shout out to someone who works tirelessly for improved traffic safety, awareness, detection, and enforcement. There is some AI training coming up that will explore the potential of AI and law enforcement to ensure that officers like you are well prepared to serve and protect your community in this tech-driven world. This comprehensive course is designed to equip you, the law enforcement professional, with the tools and techniques to build knowledge and skills necessarily to effectively integrate artificial intelligence into your daily operation. We look for news that might interest you from all over. I hope you like these briefings and will subscribe to them, or perhaps share them with another who might find these helpful. If you have something noteworthy to pass along, perhaps some training opportunities, maybe a promotion or a new hire, maybe to announce a special award given to a person in the department, reach out to me. I want to hear from you and to have you part of our future roll calls. Use this QR code to let us know what you think of these. But please keep your news coming. And until next time, I'm Lou. I hope all is well. Now let's get to work.